Howard Hughes was born in Houston, Texas in 1905. His father was an inventor and businessman who made a fortune by creating a special drill bit for the oil industry. This invention made the Hughes family very wealthy and gave young Howard a life filled with opportunities. But even as a child, Howard was not like other children. He was quite curious and often preferred to spend hours alone tinkering with machines instead of playing with friends. He built his first motorized bicycle at the age of 12. And by 14 he had already built his own radio transmitter. When Howard was only 16, his mother died, and not long after his father also passed away. This left him with a large inheritance and full control over his family company. Most people would have used the money to live a comfortable life, but Howard wanted something more. He wanted to be remembered as a man who achieved greatness in many fields. He wanted power, fame, and innovation all at once. He moved to Los Angeles, where he entered the film industry. At that time, Hollywood was becoming the center of global entertainment, and Hughes saw an opportunity to shine. He produced silent films at first and later sound films. His most famous early film was Hell's Angels, which was a World War I aviation drama. Hughes spent millions to create realistic aerial battle scenes. He even learned to fly planes himself, so he could film authentic shots. Many people thought he was crazy for spending so much money, but when the film was released in 1930, it became a huge success and made him famous across the country. Hughes also produced Scarface in 1932, which shocked audiences with its violence and gangster story. The movie was controversial, but it showed that Hughes was not afraid of breaking rules and challenging society. He loved the glamour of Hollywood, but he also loved controlling everything down to the smallest detail. This controlling nature later grew into something darker in his personal life. While making films, Hughes was also falling in love with airplanes. He believed that the future belonged to aviation, and he wanted to be at the center of it. He bought companies, designed planes, and pushed for faster speeds. In 1935, he set a world airspeed record by flying his Hughes H-1 Racer at over 300 miles per hour. In 1938, he amazed the world when he flew around the globe in just over 3 days. His name was suddenly associated not only with movies, but also with heroic achievements in the skies. But success came with risks. Hughes suffered terrible plane crashes. In 1946, he was testing a military plane when it crashed into a neighborhood in Beverly Hills. The crash almost killed him. His body was broken, his ribs were shattered, and he lived in constant pain afterward. To deal with the pain, he began relying on strong medicines and narcotics, which slowly pulled him into addiction. These struggles were kept hidden from the public because Hughes wanted the world to see him only as a fearless pilot and genius inventor. Behind the scenes, Hughes's private life was filled with secrets. He had affairs with some of the most famous women of his time. His relationships with Katharine Hepburn, Ava Gardner, and many other actresses became legendary. But he was also extremely controlling. He demanded loyalty from his lovers and often spied on them, using his assistants to track their every move. As the years went by, his mental health began to decline. His fear of germs became stronger. He would order his staff to wash their hands repeatedly and would refuse to touch anything that had not been sterilized. He locked himself inside dark hotel rooms, refusing to leave for months. He grew his hair and nails long and spoke to almost no one except a few loyal assistants. He communicated through notes written on scraps of paper and demanded absolute obedience. His fortune allowed him to live this strange life, and no one dared to oppose him. During the Cold War, Hughes's fortune and influence also connected him to secret government missions. One of the most famous was the construction of the Glomar Explorer ship. Officially, it was described as a ship built for mining at great ocean depths, but secretly it was a project for the CIA to raise a sunken Soviet submarine filled with nuclear weapons from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Hughes's name provided the perfect cover because people already thought of him as eccentric and unpredictable. This mission became one of the greatest hidden operations of that time, and the truth only came out years later. By the 1960s and 1970s, Hughes had become a ghost-like figure. He rarely appeared in public, and when he did, he looked thin, pale, and almost unrecognizable, he moved between hotels in Las Vegas, the Bahamas, and Mexico City, living in darkened rooms with blackout curtains. His fortune was still enormous. He owned airlines, casinos, hotels, and land across America, yet he seemed trapped inside his own fears. In April 1976, Howard Hughes died while being flown on a private jet from Mexico to Houston. His body was so frail and his face so changed that doctors could not identify him without using fingerprints. The once handsome, glamorous billionaire had ended his life in complete isolation and misery. And yet his legacy still remains. He is remembered as the man who changed both Hollywood and aviation. He is remembered as a man with billions of dollars, yet unable to control his own mind. His life is a story of brilliance, obsession, power, and hidden secrets that continue to fascinate people even today.